Good day to you. Um, so I've been continuing with my coding challenges and trying to uh, do stuff, and I've got to be honest. This weekend, I did a repeat. I did it because I'm a little bit busy with some revision and wanted to focus on getting some training down and some writing done. But nonetheless, it's always important to practice core skills. So I decided to take my market simulator and expand it a little bit. And what you see before you, all the little uh, bits that are being produced are now uh, are now basically built from smaller parts. As in, heavy industry is now made from so much manufacturing, and so much manufacturing, requires so much mining, and shipping requires all that above, and construction affects the time to build factories. So the whole simulation just for one country is a whole lot more complicated. And on top of that, I've added in multiple trade blocks into the economy with the intention of building a critique of international trade and getting on my soapbox and talking about, how international trade could be bad and have effects of causing empires as it has done in the past, and maybe we need to produce more stuff locally. And the honest truth is, I set this running and said it so America built everything. Chose not to be China because too close to the call. And in this model will let you ship, will let a corporation ship to one of its subsidiaries in another country if it can make more money in the other country than it does over here. And you can sort of see this is happening because the heavy industry will rise, and eventually the price will get higher and higher and higher, and then it'll crash. And the interesting thing about showing a model this way is that it sort of shows a really good solution to what I discussed in the first market simulator, which was, you know, monopolies are bad, competition is good. Well, the easiest way to foster competition is to allow people to import a certain amount of trade into your country. And as long as there is, a price to doing that, that there is a cost in shipping or something, there's good benefits for it, and it does spread the wealth. Um, in this, each of the countries has different tax rates, but as you see, there's North America is building everything, but some of the other countries aren't terribly worse off compared to America, even though America's the only one that's building any new factories. Um, and it does make you think about, how trade works, and we live in a globalized society that doesn't need to be centralized and doesn't need empires now. At the same time, I do wonder if it underlines the sort of concern, because America building everything and then selling all the heavy industry, all the manufacturing to everyone else, does come with the problem of that this model assumes that the money sold in one of these subsidiaries goes into their local economy, and rather than being moved back to the centralized location. And in that sense, you know, there is a real question in my head of still whether what's the difference between free trade, a trade union, an area where we are producing most of our manufactured goods in one central location and selling it on all the markets around us as an empire. And I probably need to do some more reading to get my sense around the difference and where the moral boundary lies. But yeah, so this was my shorter, less punchy, probably less impressive, to be honest, coding challenge of expanding what I've done previously from a market simulator to a international trade simulator. Um, I hope it gives some people some ideas, and you know, it's it's made me think a little bit because I was expecting one giant empire at the center of it all. If I only let that one place build everything, and it doesn't quite happen like that. Capitalism seems to mean that it just moves all the goods around quite equitably, and that people's self-interest seems to work things out. Now, that being said, I did run an earlier version where um, goods were distributed to the subsidiaries on the basis of how much was in the warehouse, and the more filled warehouse would try and distribute it evenly between all the warehouses, which is an interesting model of how I guess planned economies work. And that did result in the country that was building everything uh, catapulting ahead. Nearly double the money was made in that one country. And I could put that down to the fact that things are built from other things in this model, and time to build factories require, other things, that essentially the one country doing all the production started to gain synergies and started to get all ahead. But it doesn't happen when you do it on the basis of money. If you do it on the basis of money, a bubble starts to form. Eventually, somebody decides that the payout is worth it, and they sell, and it's that simple. And it even goes the other way, that even though America's building everything and building all the new factories in this model, they're going and selling it uh, in all the other countries because it doesn't matter to them. It only matters to them where they get the money. So maybe that makes somebody think, and maybe that doesn't. Maybe that feels obvious, but but there we go. Another code challenge complete. Have a good day. Bye.